Hey, welcome to episode 5 of the War Journal. Today I have something really cool planned. I'm going to read a couple entries from my journal. I'm going to talk about the impact and the significance of those events, and then I'm going to do something really neat. I'm going to read a letter that I sent home, the first letter of many that I sent back to my father while I was deployed in Desert Storm. So let me start off December 30th, 1990. Last night was the night compass course where Bass just about cried after Kuntz pushed him and yelled at him. At 0200, we were patiently waiting for our vehicle to extract us, but it just didn't arrive. After we walked halfway back, the vehicle decided to come. Figures. Pay dirt. I received 5 letters last night. Kind of refreshing. Morale busters strike again. Today, the company gunnery sergeant secured the radio in our tent, which just put everyone down a couple notches in their morale. The ongoing saga continues. I know this is a short entry, but it had a lot of significance because it really tells the tale about a couple things. Number one, the night compass course was really a microcosm of the entire deployment. There was a serious lack of command and control and leadership within the company. It severely impacted our ability to operate. The other thing, we didn't have the proper training, we didn't have the proper equipment, we didn't have sufficient amounts of ammunition, we didn't have timely, accurate intelligence information, and all of that really impacted our ability to perform mission planning and execution. And it put a considerable burden on the team leaders and the teams to operate. And then the other part that really resonated and really was found throughout deployment was the interaction between the officers and the enlisted and the senior staff NCOs in the enlisted. There was a lot of friction between some of the officers and enlisted, and especially the team leaders. In reconnaissance, unlike the SEALs and Special Forces, the enlisted and the team leaders are in charge of mission planning. We plan missions, we execute, we're responsible for. The teams we're in Special Forces and SEALs, there's an officer who's in charge. So there was a dynamic between the officers and senior NCOs that doesn't exist in the SEALs and Special Forces that really created some problems within the deployment or throughout the deployment. We had officers who were newly assigned to the unit, didn't have a significant amount of experience in reconnaissance operation. We had staff NCOs who were lat transfers into recon, hadn't gone through ARS, and that created a lot of problems throughout the deployment. But so let's, I want to take a minute and read. This will be the first letter that I read. And so let me explain kind of the significance behind this. So I wrote letters home to my father. I wrote letters to friends and family. And several years ago, my father passed away. And when we went to his home as part of the estate, he had saved all of the letters that I had written from Desert Storm. And he also saved letters that I wrote when I was in boot camp in Paris Island from 1986. And maybe we'll read some of these at some point, but I've never read these letters. My father and I had we had a difficult relationship, and we didn't agree on our parenting styles. And I made a decision with my wife at the time to kind of remove the kids from his influence, and that impacted our relationship. But I always loved my father, and he had a deep love for me. He was always proud of me for what I've done, but unfortunately I didn't have the time to tell him that before he passed away. But I'd like to read the letter that I wrote in early January of 1990. Like I said, this will be the first time I've read this. Dear Dad, well, how are you doing these days? I am enjoying my time over here in the big cat box. but not as much as if I were out of the Marine Corps. I am being recognized as one of the senior NCOs here and will be put in a team leader position shortly. Besides that, this place sucks, plain and simple. The Marine Corps decided, since I was supposed to get out on December 10th, that I shouldn't be getting paid, but someone forgot to tell them that, and I'm still in it and should be for a little while before I get paid. I was involuntarily extended for the needs of the Marine Corps, and obviously all the admin and paperwork had me separated, and then I was reassigned back to recon, and no one told the admin folks that I was still in the Marine Corps, so I wasn't getting paid. Not to worry, you have not been forgotten about. This is why I have enclosed a check without a date on it, so you may cash it when I finally get paid. So how are you? Is Donna doing well? Tell her I said hello, and the rest of the Siscos also. Tell Graham and Papa that it isn't that bad over here, and I am doing well. Also, if she has the time to send a care package, kind of late for Christmas present to send one, but it would be greatly appreciated. Tell my sister that she should get her shit together, because when I get home, if it isn't, I will do it for her. So my little nephew isn't running around these days. I hope you watch out for the little guy. Well, that's all for now, and I hope to hear from you soon. Take care. Love, Jim. Your son. P.S. Tell Donna thank you for the Christmas card. Ooh. That was difficult. Brings back a lot of memories. So I didn't have the best childhood in the world, and I didn't have the best relationship with my father. My father was married 3 times and divorced 3 times, and he was dating Donna when I was deployed to Desert Storm, and that really had an impact on my childhood. And my grandparents, after my father's second divorce, they moved up to New Jersey, or down to New Jersey where we were staying, and they bought a house. And basically, I was raised by my grandparents, and it was a blessing and also a curse. I really look back and appreciate being raised by my grandparents. You know, they instilled in me these old school values, and it really helped with my character and integrity. And you know, they grew up in the Depression, so they, had a different outlook on life. And my father was, really involved with his own, with himself. He, was dating. He, was working, and not that he was a bad dad. He never drank. He tried his best, but he just wasn't a great father. But my grandparents, they had a huge imprint on me, and I really appreciate, what they did. My sister and I had a very strange relationship, and she got pregnant by her boyfriend and had my nephew Jake, and she dropped out of college. So my childhood wasn't the best, and that's really, the Marine Corps provided me an avenue to escape, to have a better life. And I really appreciate the things that the Marine Corps did and the values they instilled in me. And, the deployment was also something that helped me and changed me and shaped me. But anyway, I'll stop for now. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. It was fun, but difficult to read the letters, and I have more letters that I'll share with you, and I think they'll be really neat to read together. I hope you see how the story is starting to unfold, and as we progress, you'll see how the themes that we talked about previously just continue to evolve, and the stress and anxiety as we get closer to the ground war continue to build, and the significant events that lead to that. Anyway, I want to say thank you very much for the positive feedback that I've received from everyone. I look forward to continuing this journey. I continue sharing, my personal experiences and helping the people out there that are suffering, going through trauma, dealing with adversity, challenges in their lives, and hopefully the lessons learned in the War Journal can help you. And please do me a favor, and I hate saying it, but do share this, like it, make comments. I'll respond. I love engaging with people who have an interest. If you have questions, and I really want this to grow because the positive feedback that I've gotten is that my story needs to be told and it can help other people. Thanks again, and I look forward to the next episode.